over there on the 200 apparently. I'm not sure what's going on. This one just started up a moment ago. Hopefully nobody's hurt. Really going. You can see all the flames. Lots of banging too. See some fires there in the distance. Some over here, at least 3-4 spots over there. Way in the distance, some more. Nearing on the 200 highway. Some banging here, I'm not sure. Oh, there's another fire on the next corner now. So another car's on fire over there. I think it's a car anyways. There's some major protest going on for sure.
Hey, good afternoon. In case you haven't seen it in the news, because apparently it hasn't hit, or they're blocking it out of mainstream media, and I mean the media is just not paying attention to it. A leader of the biggest Mexican cartel, um, monikered El Mancho, was killed by a Mexican military operation this morning, sometime overnight. And his army, because he's got his own personal army that can rival, an army of a small country, has retaliated by um, sending the country into chaos. They're setting cars on fire, buildings on fire. At this point, they are now taking hostages, American hostages. They are pulling cars over. I saw a video where they stopped the car, evacuated the people from the car, and then threw some gasoline in it and set it on fire. And this is going on all over Mexico, greatly emphasized in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta, these all the resort towns. They are telling American citizens to go back to your room, stay inside, don't come out at all, and because they are now targeting the tourist sector. Okay, this one's done. Let me find another feed here. Okay. Give me a second. Let me find another feed. Let me share that real quick. Okay, so just so you know, the Guadalajara airport has been taken over. The cartel, I guess if you want to say, infiltrated it, and they have set aircraft on fire. They've gone onto the ramp and they've set airplanes on fire. People who were at the airport waiting for a flight or perhaps just arrived, everybody's hiding everywhere. The cartel has gone freaking nuts. It's complete chaos.
Typically, the cartel does not, and why they put out that warning for people to stay off the streets is they know they don't want the fury of the United States coming down on them. And so typically this is cartel against Mexican law enforcement in the Mexican army. They typically try to stay away from civilians, and they put out that warning. Again, I don't know if that's going to stand true here. Other people suggesting the same on X. Don't know.
I'm gonna look for another stream as well. That surprised what this guy's doing. I'm gonna do the same, but I want to leave it
for those just tuning in. Cartel leader El Mencho killed. We know that the Mexican military was involved in that. 4 other cartel members killed, 3 more injured are the reports that we have right now. There's been talk about the United States being involved with this attack. United States previously had a $15 million reward for El Mencho. This is the scene earlier, about an hour and a half ago, and we are browsing social media for any updates because we don't have a live feed from media there. These are the videos from earlier.
No mames. ¿Están bien?
Cuidado, no se crucen. Cuidado, cuidado. No, cuidado, cuidado. No manches.
Vente, man. Corre, 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 corre.
Gente corriendo.
That was the scene at the Guadalajara airport not even a couple hours ago. Yeah, Lynn Marie, I don't know if you caught any of that, what was going on, but their main cartel leader, nicknamed Mencho, he got real long, 3 or 4 names. I have it here, just going to look it up right now. Was killed in a military operation. This was overnight. Some people believe that U.S. elite forces were involved also, because there's been a big bounty on the guy's head. Whether or not that's true, don't know. Perhaps we may never know, at least not soon. So his military, and I mean the cartel guy who's dead, he's got a military to rival any small country's military, his people. And I was going to post that video showing virtually his own army. And so they're doing what the cartel does. They are retaliating against the people.
All of these things are being cleared out. It's being
So
roped off right now.
they are setting cars on fire, blowing up buildings, setting buildings on fire. And now the last news that reports that I was seeing from Mexican outlets were that they are now taking Americans and they're targeting American tourists and taking them hostage. None of that is confirmed. I haven't seen any actual news of that actually happening, but they're saying that's what's happening. That a lot of cars are getting pulled over on the highways. All the resort towns, Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, beautiful city. I mean, everything is being burned. They have gone out, and I don't know. What do you guys think about? Now does America intervene? At what point? If any, do we say? I mean, if they are starting to take Americans as hostage, at what point do we? All right, well, you know what? Enough's enough. Enough is enough. I mean, I don't see how. I mean, I understand, but I don't. How a country like Mexico can let the drug cartels control that country, and they do. I mean, people are afraid to drive on highways. It's common. Even buses like Greyhound, those kind of buses frequently get pulled over. Everybody gets robbed. Everybody gets stripped naked. They rob them of their belongings, and that's something that happens still over there. And they do it because police are powerless. Everybody's afraid. The cartel has got. They are armed like an army, and police have the bare minimums. And I mean, I don't blame them for being afraid, but police are not respected over there. Police are not respected over there. So let's play a little more of this. I'll keep looking for another feed.
That cartel became more prominent after El Chapo was captured.
Because they literally own rocket launchers. So this is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. Again, everybody is being forced to vacate the bar, the beach area, and smoke in the air. Major situation here in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, this is the poor family. They got them out of that car and they set that car on fire. Right now they're dousing it with gasoline, throw the match, and there you go. They're doing this all over the place.
Verga, puras 4 letras, hijos de puta madre, a la verga. Prendidos a la verga, putos, mira.
Su puta madre. So earlier we saw footage of motorcycles, and I said, is that debris or are those spikes? Confirming that those are spikes. You see them up on the screen. They're placing these barricades and burning vehicles to slow down.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in an effort to stop vehicles. Some of them don't want to stop for these guys. They try to get around them and take off. So they've resorted to throwing these spikes down, and if you're going to go around them, they're going to force you to stop by flattening your tires.
It is now confirmed that El Mencho has been killed. 4 other cartel members killed, 3 injured. In at least what we know is a Mexican military operation. There are reports that this was jointly done with the United States. That part has not been confirmed, but it is confirmed that El Mencho has been killed.
De acuerdo con la Sedena, la acción fue resultado de trabajos coordinados de inteligencia militar en conjunto con el Centro Nacional de Inteligencia y la Fiscalía General de la República. La operación fue ejecutada por fuerzas especiales del Ejército Mexicano con apoyo de aeronaves de la Fuerza Aérea y también de la Guardia Nacional.
Así es, durante este despliegue el personal militar fue agredido, por lo que, bueno, también se repelió ese ataque. En el enfrentamiento, al menos se ha confirmado que murieron 4 presuntos integrantes del grupo delictivo en ese lugar y 3 más fallecieron posteriormente, entre ellos Rubén Oseguera Cervantes, el Mencho. También fueron detenidas 2 personas y se aseguró armamento de alto poder, incluidos lanzacohetes y vehículos con blindaje artesanal.
La defensa informó que 3 elementos del ejército también resultaron heridos y por ello se reforzó la presencia de fuerzas federales en Jalisco, mientras continúan las diligencias correspondientes. El Mencho, recordemos, fue abatido en esta operación. Vamos a ver ahí en un mapa en Tapalpa, Jalisco.
¿Dónde está Tapalpa, Jalisco? Aquí lo ubicamos en este mapa donde ocurrió este operativo. Exactamente. Aquí lo vemos. Está colindando con otros municipios, como es el municipio de, dice aquí, Amecua, también el municipio de Tonaya, de Sayula, de San Gabriel, pero como dices, exactamente en el centro de Jalisco.
I'm going to try to find something English, but the only English-speaking transmission that I find are seemingly just either YouTubers or just, you know, private citizens. There's no major news outfits, including, you know, like Reuters or whatever, that's reporting on this.
La presidenta declaró muy poco, dijo que serían las autoridades de seguridad quienes pues confirmarían justamente esta información. Por su parte, hace apenas unos momentos el secretario de Seguridad, Omar García Harfuch, reconoció la labor del Ejército Mexicano y la Fuerza Aérea. Esto lo hizo a través de X, donde apenas escribió pues este texto bastante breve, sin embargo confirma y reconoce los hechos por parte del Ejército Mexicano y la Fuerza Aérea, también citando a la defensa, donde pues justamente comparte este comunicado.
Let's see what we got here. Well, unfortunately, CNN, but let's see what they've got to say.
Cartel. And history tells us that when cartel leaders fall, well, violence can start. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now in Jalisco, in this Mexican state, and in the capital of this state, in Guadalajara. What's happening there?
Valeria, Leon, really appreciate the perspective. As you've been speaking, we've been shown images from the country as well, including from Puerto Vallarta, obviously very popular for American tourists as well. We'll continue to monitor this story and bring you any developments. So following breaking news out of Mexico, CNN has learned that the leader of the powerful Jalisco New Generation drug cartel has been killed today during an operation led by Mexico's military. The cartel boss, who goes by the nickname El Mencho, was widely regarded as one of the country's most violent criminal figures. He was also wanted in the U.S. with the Justice Department putting out a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Now, authorities in multiple Mexican states are reporting the blocking of various roads with vehicles set on fire by alleged members of organized crime, along with clashes with security forces. These are some of the images coming out of the country now. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico just issued a shelter in place to all U.S. citizens in areas where the operations are now taking place. I want to bring in CNN's Valeria Leon, who joins us now from Mexico City. Valeria, what more can you tell us about the situation unfolding in Mexico right now?
Well, there's fear among residents. We're receiving reports that a store has been set on fire, and people in Guadalajara and Jalisco say they're worried about what would happen next. Let's remember that he's a long-time leader of the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, one of the most powerful and fastest-growing criminal groups in the country. And U.S. authorities have described it as one of the most dangerous transnational cartels with operations stretching from Mexico to the United States, but not only in the U.S., but also Europe and Asia. So what happens if the man at the top is gone? Well, first, there's a question of succession. Cartel Jalisco is known for its vertical militarized structure, heavily centralized around El Mencho, and his absence could trigger an internal struggle among people competing for control in the cartel. And history tells us that when cartel leaders fall, well, violence can spike. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now in Jalisco, in this Mexican state, and in the capital of this state, in Guadalajara. What's happening now?
Valeria Leon, really appreciate the perspective. As you've been speaking, we've been showing images from the country as well, including from Puerto Vallarta, which obviously very popular for American tourists as well. We'll continue to monitor this story and bring you any developments. Also, following breaking news out of Mexico, CNN has learned that the leader of the...
So these guys are just cycling that news around and around and around. And we've seen that already. Let me find, I know it's in Spanish, but let's go back to this for a bit.
Organizaciones más grandes de estas 92 que estoy comentando. Entonces, no podemos ahorita pronosticar qué sucederá, pero lo que sí hay que apuntar es que cuando hay un evento de este tipo en una organización tan grande, lo que frecuentemente sucede, como sucedió con Cártel Jalisco, con Cártel de Sinaloa cuando se llevaron a Mayo Zambada, es que viene una guerra intestina que puede prolongarse por años, como está sucediendo ahorita en Culiacán, ¿no? Por ejemplo. Entonces, el peor escenario sería que justamente una ciudad tan importante como Guadalajara, que es mucho más grande que Culiacán, entrara en una dinámica de violencia, digamos, indiscriminada, y esto pudiera también tener obviamente una afectación en el bienestar y la tranquilidad de la población, pero también en la economía del propio estado de Jalisco y del país, porque pues
caso que fue en el 2015 cuando hombres de
they're just saying that, what that this is going to affect the economy, and yeah, of course it is. My question is, I would like to know, and I don't know, judging by the lack of coverage on this from American news, what is the United States likely to do about this? If anything. Is this the opportunity, and is this, like someone said earlier, is this the straw that broke the camel's back, now maybe forcing us into, not necessarily forcing us, but maybe the opportune time to go in and try to settle these cartel armies, which is really what they are right now.
Que ha habido reacciones, muchas de ellas violentas, en diversos puntos de México.
Sí, vamos precisamente a Jalisco. ¿Cómo están las cosas en este momento en cuanto a los operativos que lleva a cabo tanto elementos de seguridad estatal y también federal en Guadalajara.
And the sad thing is that you don't see is, fire trucks and, fire trucks, firemen putting fires out because it's just, they're overwhelmed. It's not happening everywhere. And I'm sure they're afraid to be out there too because they'll probably burn down the fire trucks.
Durante la mañana de este domingo, y quiero que observen, esto es plena Avenida La Paz, pleno centro histórico, y vean los ponchallantas que fueron arrojados en este sitio y que también desencadenaron que un vehículo fuera calcinado, un vehículo de personas civiles que iban cruzando aquí en la zona, pero esto fue
any other country
para detener no solamente a este vehículo de un
perhaps the thought of getting involved would not even cross our minds, but these people are freaking neighbors,
de septiembre y Avenida La Paz. Afortunadamente no se
I
registraron
mean,
personas lesionadas, pero quiero que observen del otro
if I hop in a car,
estamos caminando para que observen el
I am close to 3 international bridges from my house, and I can get to each one in 2 minutes, a minute, 90 seconds without speeding. That's how close I am.
Reitero, no hubo personas lesionadas, la zona se encuentra totalmente resguardada.
If you look at the
Federalismo y la calzada Independencia, pero también
if you look at a map of Texas, go to the southern tip and zoom in, find the what's called UTRGV in Brownsville, and go right to the border. That's where I'm at.
Y todo pareciera por un punto como si fuera un pueblo fantasma, ya que
And the scary, thought the amount of people that work over there that live here,
y la recomendación de evitar moverse por
and they have to travel to work every day in New Mexico. And I have a couple of friends that do that, and I'm always afraid for them. Because when these cartels are fighting each other, the gangs are fighting each other, they tend to block streets, and they don't care about collateral damage. They'll block streets and have a shootout.
Dos cuadras aledañas a lo largo de la avenida para evitar el paso de vehículos, para evitar algún accidente, porque ustedes lo están observando, pues continúan aquí las unidades de transporte público, continúan los ponchallantas, pues a la espera de que arriben agentes del Ministerio Público para que puedan realizar pues las distintas diligencias tras estos hechos que se registraron la mañana de este domingo. Pero hasta el momento es el reporte aquí en la zona centro de Guadalajara. Muy buenas tardes.
Preguntarte sobre información de personas lesionadas. ¿Qué dice la autoridad hasta este momento? Alan, ¿qué ha sabido?
Hasta este momento no se han reportado personas lesionadas, de acuerdo a lo que han señalado que ocurrió exactamente en este punto.
They're wondering if they're asking if are there any reports of people that are injured, and they're saying they don't have much reports of anything other than things on fire. And
señala de manera preliminar que pudiera haber dos elementos lesionados, pero no en este punto, sino de los distintos hechos que se han registrado aquí en el área metropolitana de Guadalajara.
Por la información, seguiremos el pendiente de lo que pasa en
there's a couple of cams that they have on, but they're not.
Ha informado que en el estado de Jalisco se registran al momento, a esta hora, a las 2:16 de la tarde, 21 bloqueos carreteros que están activos. Las fuerzas
Let me switch to this back to this guy called Nerdy Addict. Let's see, this guy got sound or what? Hang on. Yes.
¿Qué? No, pues no, para allá están los saconcillos, tal desmadre, aquí estamos agachados, acá atrás escondidos. Pues. Ahí está el
Yeah, even though they took that cartel leader, even though he's gone, I'm sure there was already a second in command who had stepped up, like no choice. It's a natural occurrence, and I'm sure it's something they've already talked about, and it's pretty obvious that should something happen to their main guy, they already know who's going to take over. And there's a lot of this going on in Jalisco, in Guadalajara, where roads are being blocked by buses, and then they set the buses
Eva
on
came
fire.
in and said there may be people in the area watching the stream. I will open the phone lines with the disclaimer that if anyone calls in speaking Spanish, I don't speak or understand Spanish. So, but we will give that opportunity if there's anyone local on the ground here.
And I am going to scan for some other feeds still, so I'm still here. There, I want to show you this. This is the guy that they took down. This is his army. This is his own army. Check this out. Yep.
The phone number you could call, you could talk about this, you could shoot the shit. If you're local on the ground and can speak English, you're welcome to call in 904 or 86. And it's at the top left of your screen. Hey, JB.
it going?
Good. How are you?
How's it going? Watching this live on YouTube. Is that something going on YouTube?
We're watching what's unfolding in Puerto Vallarta on YouTube. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. It's your channel, so just subscribe.
You can subscribe to the channel. Where are you calling in from?
Oh, I'm over here in Orange County, so I just jumped on right now.
Okay. Yeah, you can subscribe.
Okay,
We're watching this. We don't have live footage. We're getting footage from X, formerly Twitter. It doesn't appear that there's any live feeds from the ground here yet, but yeah, we are watching, and I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
I know. I just keep thinking that the amount of money it takes to get or manufacture, those armored vehicles, and all the firepower that they have. Seemingly, they have an endless amount. Like, where are they getting that stuff from? And I know part of it's coming from us somehow, some way. Yeah, I know they were saying that one of the Costco's somewhere got burned down to the ground. And this is the scene at the Guadalajara airport that happened earlier.
So USA Today, giving some extra context around who El Mencho was. Apparently, he was an ex-police officer, and then he transitioned into the shadowy leader of a powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel, an outfit that took its moniker from the western state of the same name that is home to Mexico's second city, Guadalajara. Over a relatively short period of time, the CJNG morphed into a continent, spanning criminal enterprise rivaling former allies in the Sinaloa cartel. The gang of captured kingpin El Chapo, who is now in a United States prison. The military operation against El Mencho follows a pressure campaign from the Trump administration on Mexican president and their government to ramp up its crackdown on drug trafficking, which included U.S. threats to intervene directly in Mexico.
You mean you want to call in to the guy's number? I don't care. If you want to, you can. I'm still trying to find other live feed because I know a lot of these images and video we've seen a lot over and over and over again. They're just cycling endlessly at this point. So I'll see if I can find something.
Talked about this briefly earlier. You can see the images on your screen. This is cartel, oftentimes equipped better than the Mexican military.
Look at that. That's the cartel's army.
Turn down the audio here. It's scratching from the other video. Mods letting people know that repeatedly posting stuff will be considered spam.
As far as I know, there's been no word from President Sheinbaum of Mexico.
This is a huge tourist destination, Puerto Vallarta. Millions of tourists come here. We saw video from the beaches of tourists. Again, all these folks are stranded. They've been told to shelter in place. U.S. citizens told to shelter in place by the U.S. State Department. The cartel putting out a warning earlier that people there should shelter in place if they're caught out on the streets, that they will spare no one. Again, for folks asking, this is the Jalisco New Generation cartel. Became prominent after El Chapo's capture. We're seeing footage here of the actual cartel and how they operate. They look like law enforcement. They look like SWAT members. They are equipped with rocket launchers to take down choppers. They have a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the drug trafficking business. So show the backpack being recovered in the Park Place apartment home, roughly 2 miles away.
So everybody is being told to leave the area right now.
904 is Duval. Nice to see locals in the area. We welcome swearing. We welcome opinions here. Anything flies except being derogatory, being obnoxious, repeating yourself. If you think the stream is shitty, go find another option. It's not going to hurt our feelings, but the mods will ban you if you are derogatory, especially towards other members in this chat. So, Pat Jones, you're getting a last warning. Looks like from our mods. I see an update here from Tracy, one of our mods. Let me go to that and see if we can get it up on the screen here. All right, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Thank you, Tracy. A lot of different audio coming through. Here. Let's see if we can't get this up. Cancel out the other audio. This is the Mexican National Guard, and the video showing aftermath of the clashes with the cartel.
Hello. Yeah. For those asking, reports right now that we have of when he was killed was just early this morning. We saw this unfolding in Puerto Vallarta about 2 hours ago. Reports again are saying that he was killed in the early hours of Sunday morning. Since that time, members of the cartel have set buses on fire. They block roads in the area as they clash with authorities. They put out a message that seems to be from their official communication source, it appears, warning tourists and those that are not involved with this clash to stay indoors, as they would spare no one. Mexican officials and the State Department warning residents to remain in their inside their homes. All public transportation services in Jalisco are suspended, including the airport in Puerto Vallarta. The governor there has stated that the violence has spread to at least 5 states and urged the public to avoid traveling on any highways in the area. U.S. State Department issued a travel advisory urging U.S. citizens to shelter in place in the Mexican states of Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta, and 2 others that I'm not able to pronounce. I'm not even going to try to, but they're in the chat there. Go back to X and see if there's any updates, but we've been live now for about an hour and a half. That's the information that we know. We've heard rumors that the United States was potentially involved here. There's some footage that appears to be AI generated from the airport of a plane on fire. I don't think that's accurate. And we have some new footage, it appears, here, where it says evacuations underway at the Hospital Civil in Guadalajara due to the possible presence of armed groups linked to the Jalisco New Generation cartel. Put that video up on the screen.
estacionamiento.
¿No se puede salir?
Abajo, abajo, abajo. Allá, para acá, por favor, para acá, por favor. Para arriba, por favor. Por acá, por favor. Al estacionamiento. Al estacionamiento. Al estacionamiento.
¿No se puede salir?
Abajo, abajo, abajo. Allá, para acá, por favor.
I'm gonna pop a video up here, guys, in a minute, and I'm still here. I'm just searching for stuff.
What do we have on the line?
I'd like to stay completely anonymous if I could.
That's fine. How are you?
Yes, sir. All right. I'm kind of quick on it because I'm actually in Mexico, but I just wanted to go into what's going on right now. So for any Americans that are in the town or in Mexico, this might be a week, 2 week type deal. This isn't going to be a 2 day, 3 day, whatever. Just make sure that you have food, water, communications, because they might get cut. Roads will not be safe for anybody, so don't even try it until you get an official response. So, yeah, just everybody be safe.
I know you want to remain anonymous. Are you in Mexico right now?
Yes, sir. I was traveling from one state to another, and I also got news from another family member in another state that they cut off the bridge to come into that whole section because it's completely mountainous area. And so there's no in and out for anybody for who knows how long they're there. And like this is ugly, so that they might do something. I don't want to predict anything, but you know, to try to get a hand on people, they might try something with Americans. So just everybody don't panic, but just stay on your P's and Q's and be safe.
Yeah, I think
stay somewhere that is for sure. Just hopefully that if you have anyone that you can trust giving you information, please stick around with them or do something like that. But this is urgent.
Yeah, we see that the Mexican officials are saying to stay off the highways, stay out, shelter in place. So appreciate you. Please stay safe. We see most of the images that I've shown on the screen on the stream have been from Puerto Vallarta.
All right, so you guys saw this on the bottom there. Senator Bernie Moreno just called on Mexico to request U.S. military backup
to further areas. So please stay safe where you are, but stay safe. And the warning.
I don't know.
I don't think this is going to be something that
at the same time
that goes away anytime soon.
Not that sounds like something that should be done.
Like I said, one state where it's really bad, but the other state that's in Jalisco, but we're about an hour away from our home.
It's like,
and there was a shootout.
Do we actually want that?
And thankfully, right next to the Oxo was a hotel, so that's where
I
we're
think
at right now. And yeah, whoever is in
Mexico, I don't know. I think
don't panic, but
if it actually involves, if they start taking U.S. citizens
feel free to call back in if we
as hostages and killing them and making them disappear and all that, I think, okay, now it's different. Now I'm thinking, well, yeah, let's intervene. You want to say let's intervene only in that case, but what about, they're disrupting air traffic and air travel, which is something that's international. Burning airplanes, burning commercial aircraft. It's like,
Mexican military. It could be
You know,
cartel.
I think
I don't know, but you see them positioned on
it's
that red
tough.
wall there.
You know, partially you just got to let it happen and let them figure it out.
From Jalisco at this point.
You know what I mean? You got to let them figure it out.
Hey, David, how are you?
Just finding you guys.
Unless it starts to involve
I just wanted to
the
inform
taking and the killing of U.S. citizens, or you know,
any of our
obviously
American
something
lives
financial
like
that
Jalisco, stay away from Farmacias Guadalajara
something that's going to disrupt
and Oxxos.
cash flow
Appreciate you.
to America. Well, then you know, we've been known to get involved in stuff like that as well.
Those areas in particular.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Let me show this video here, another clip. Hang on.
Because Oxxos
Is it free?
Me lo robó el pinche vato me dijo, pero fíjate, poneme caliente. Esos movidos que están aquí en Chivero y Caballo.
Hola. ¿Están grabando, pa?
Come on.
Sobre.
So in this video, the caption wants to say that this is the point where they hijack that truck and then they force the driver to give him his driver's license. But I'm trying to see which way is the driver's license going, from the driver to the gunman or from the gunman to the driver. And then the caption wants to say that, and then they shoot him in the back. But you can't really see that. I mean, you see the guy turn and, you know, shoot in that direction, but you know, I can't tell if that's the case. Hang on.
Me lo robó el pinche vato me dijo, pero fíjate, poneme caliente. Esos movidos que están aquí en Chivero y Caballo.
Hola. ¿Están grabando, pa?
Come on.
I don't know, man. You know, everybody's a big shot when they got a firearm. You know, everybody's a big shot and a tough guy. I don't know. Let's see. What does this say? KK. Due to ongoing security operations and related road blockages and criminal activity, U.S. citizens in the following locations should. Yeah, that's coming from the Mexican State Department. I think it's the Mexican. The Mexican consulate. I think I did have that pulled up. See if I can find it again. I found it under State Department. Okay, I've got the U.S. State Department, and that website seems like it wants to crash because it's very, very slow.
Supplying the guns.
Well, not me specifically.
How come we don't get any narcos in the States arrested? How do the drugs get here? From one state to the other? Who transfers them?
So your take on this?
And who's going to get the credit from? Who's going to get the credit?
Your take is that El Mencho was killed well before this, and this is a setup.
I know he was killed long before.
Okay. All right.
Long time. It's all a show. You know.
Yeah, I've often said the same thing, that there's a drug problem.
You
right?
got to fix your society. Look around in the States. How come you don't see any other minorities addicted to drugs? You don't see many Chinese. You don't see many Hispanics. You don't see many Arabs. It's all African Americans and whites. Why? Look deep within your society. Look deep within your society, your values. Broken families. You have no family structure. You kick your kids out of your house at 18.
Not me specifically, but I hear.
Well, not you, but you know who I'm talking about. Look at the streets. Look who the people are. Look who's addicted to drugs. Just look around.
I appreciate you calling in. Are you in Mexico?
Of course not.
No, ahorita no estoy en México, pero yo soy de México. I'm not currently in Mexico.
I don't know. Maybe I can agree with part of what she's saying, but not with all
If
of
you
it.
want more info, I will call you.
She's saying that El Mencho was killed a long time ago, that now it just came out to cause all this havoc.
Let the next caller call in, but I appreciate you calling in and giving us.
And you know how much that drugs, you know how much part of the economy that is in Mexico? What's the percentage?
I don't.
There's no ending to this.
Stay safe,
Peace.
and I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I don't know that you can ever put an end to it, like a complete gung-ho
conspiracy theories are always
cold turkey into it. That's not going to happen.
Welcome here on this channel. Doesn't mean I believe them, but always welcome. I do, and I've always said this. I'm an addict. I'm not a former addict. I will always be an addict. Alcohol mostly, but I've dabbled in other drugs, and we are one of the largest consumers. So, got a point there. Who do we have on the line?
My name is Danny.
Hi, Danny.
And I was just calling. I saw you guys broadcasting. I'm actually just outside Puerto Vallarta right now.
What is the situation now? I know some of this footage is from earlier. Are things calming down, or are things escalating?
From what I understand, things aren't calming down. I heard earlier that the prison had been broken into by cartel members, and the prisoners released from the jail here. I also heard that the airport's been breached here, and that flights are canceled. My brother's currently stranded in the Guadalajara airport. There was some shooting activity there earlier. He was kind of pushed into the back area of the food court, in the kitchen area, and hunkered down for a while. He's determined to try and get to me here. My family and I are trying to get him to go back to the States because, even if he could get into Puerto Vallarta right now, I don't know that he could get to us out here in San Juan de Abajo. So I don't know what's going on, as far as military or anybody coming in to try and get a hold of it. But right now it's still crazy. The romantic zone, the big tourist area of Puerto Vallarta looks like a war zone. There's fires everywhere. They're setting fires to the Oxxos and convenience stores. I saw what looked like a nice new condo building on fire in Puerto. It's just it's the whole thing is it's like a war zone. It's crazy.
Were you there on vacation, or do you live there, and if you're there on vacation, what were your plans? How long were you expecting to stay there? And obviously with the
I live here. I married a Mexican man, and I live with him near his family in a little town, a little ranch town just outside of Puerto Vallarta in Nayarit. But everything around us is affected, including Bucerias and Nayarit, Nuevo Nayarit.
Not gonna lie, threw me off a little bit when he said he was married to a Mexican. I thought he was gonna say a woman. And no, it shouldn't shock me, but still, it just caught me off guard. This airplane, the image you see, that's from Guadalajara Airport. That's one of the aircraft that was set on fire. Completely insane scene at Guadalajara Airport.
This man, or did you move there because of the economy? Obviously, the American dollar is worth more there. Both of those reasons. When did you move there?
I moved. Well, I started looking for economic reasons and just the cost of living. A few years ago, I was bouncing around from one town to another, checking out where I thought was going to be the best place for me. And in that search, I met the man I ended up marrying. And so Puerto Vallarta was just a given after that. So, and also it had, I'm a gay man, so it was an LGBTQ like haven. And so, I just thought it would be safer here than anywhere, honestly.
I usually use humor. It was kind of assumed you were a gay man when you said you were there and married your partner, a male. So, but yeah, please stay safe. Keep us updated if you can in the chat. What are your plans for the next 24 hours? You're just bunkering down, or what is there to do?
Yeah, I'm hunkering down. I mean, I can't leave. I have a whole life here, a family here now, and so I'm not leaving. We're just going to hunker down. I'm going to try and not leave the house until it all cools down, I guess.
You have enough food,
From what I
supplies.
understand, though, they're saying, locals here, my family, or my new family, they're telling me that this guy, the reason this area was so peaceful was because it was all under control of one cartel member, one big cartel guy. And they're saying that the future of Puerto Vallarta doesn't look very good because now multiple cartels are going to be fighting in the streets for control of this area. And so I'm a little worried as to what that means for the area, but I'm in it for the long haul now. I'm married and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to leave him.
You guys good on food, supplies, water, milk and bread?
For now, yeah, we're good. I should have went.
Yeah, I'm going to switch feeds right now. Let me change feeds. I found something
we didn't
else.
know any of this
Hold
was
on.
going to happen, so I'm not super prepared, but we should be good for at least a couple days. Hopefully it'll die down enough to
Of course, I can find it.
get
I
out
just had it.
and pick up more supplies because at this
Here it
moment
goes.
we're not super.
Somehow set it on fire and cause a massive arson to take place. They're doing that. That's their main thing they're doing right now. They're also, if they run across any security forces, they're literally going by and spraying the cars that they're riding in too. So they're doing that. So it seems to me like this plan here was probably in the works for a long time, and it's just now being put into action now that their leader's been taken out.
I think that this was definitely some sort of a war plan that they had. I'll be entirely honest with you. I believe that the cartel may actually have several different war plans that they can execute, and that they also train their members in some sort of infantry level tactics and strategies. Because what we're seeing so far is actually pretty well thought out and incredibly thorough on a wide scale. The fact that they're creating roadblocks on major roadways throughout key areas of the ongoing conflict is showing us that they generally have an understanding of how logistics and supply lines work, and also reinforcements and where they would come in or in what points of egress they would have, and that they're trying to block them off to even slow down the amount of reinforcements that the Mexican National Guard and the Army are able to move into the area. We've also been able to see that multiple flights were diverting out of the area earlier, as of course the area has been completely closed to civilian air traffic due to the major situations that are now developing on the ground, including an American Airlines flight that was actually heading to Puerto Vallarta, and we also understand that a couple of flights as well that were also heading to the city have been diverted as well, as the airport has now been taken over by the cartel. Additionally, outside of that, we were able to see that there was an unfortunate attack on the Mexican National Guard in San Isidro. I cannot show y'all this full video, but from what we can tell, to quickly get y'all over here to this, these trucks that you see right here in black are actually the trucks of the Jalisco cartel. The ones in white are of the Mexican National Guard, and these trucks literally just drove up and conducted a drive-by on the Mexican National Guard. And while I can't show y'all the full video, I can confirm that unfortunately several more National Guard members in this video did lose their lives and largely laid down their lives in the line of service in Mexico against the cartels as they're conducting their reign of chaos throughout the region at the moment. We were able to see that nearby, and not that much later, around the area of the town of Aztlan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, did appear that federal forces of the Mexican government were beginning to move in, which we could see in this clip right here.
I guess most of them are plain clothes. It looks like the most they're wearing is maybe a vest with possibly some plates in it or something. It looks like they're mostly plain clothes, actually.
Yeah, it does appear so. And also, I see a lot of people deriding Americans who go to Mexico. I do want to make it clear that until today, Mexico generally had a state-by-state travel advisory warning, and the U.S. Department of State had largely said that travel to most tourist areas in Mexico was well within safe. It's just that they need to make sure not to go out of the tourist areas and into areas that had heavy cartel control. So I would say that that's definitely not on the fault of any American citizens that listen to the Department of State's travel advisories, because the Department of State have been putting out travel advisories saying that tourist locations like Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Mexico City, and others were absolutely safe to be able to travel to. That's of course not considering.
Okay, so the United States government tells you that the resort towns are safe to travel to. Are you guys going to go?
Could descend into literal chaos, and most cities could be besieged.
Does anybody say, "Oh yeah, they're safe"? Oh, okay. I won't pay attention to any of this chaos and destruction and buses burning and people ducking everywhere and resort staff telling people to hunker in place, go up, lock your door, and stay indoors. Well, I won't pay attention to that. Just take a nice little vacation in Guadalajara or something. I hear it's nice this time of year.
In fact, it's a video showing their special forces group. Believe it or not, they have different divisions of paramilitary forces, including a special forces elite.
I'm gonna say
so I have a video showing you all their different.
What some people don't want me to say. Don't go to freaking Mexico.
So this is a fairly old
You don't have to, and I guess you don't have to.
But this was actually put
You don't have to. Don't go to friggin' Mexico. And I've said this before a lot of times. Is it worth it? You're gonna go to a beach? Go to Puerto Rico. Go to Florida.
Which was El Mencho up until a couple of hours ago.
Not California. I'm not a fan of California. You want tropical? Go to Florida. The Carolinas. Go to Puerto Rico. Go to the Bahamas or something. Stay away from Mexico if you want to live. How's that? And I don't care who doesn't like to hear that.
Yeah, they
stay out of Mexico.
Like Ford F-250s or F-350s have been modified for the most part.
And we saw this video. I showed this to you guys earlier. They're showing it now.
Something, but it's interesting they put like police lighting.
Okay, another breaking news. By the way, let's see.
This is a cartel.
The son of the cartel boss that's dead, El Mencho, his son has been captured by the Mexican military, and they've taken him for, I'm sure, some secure location to interrogate him. Looking at video that he is in custody. They got him in a helicopter, and they're taking him away. So let's see what comes out of that.
doesn't have a mag in it. The mag's like the easiest way to tell an AKM from an AK-74. Looks like it might be an AKM, but he has an M203 40mm grenade launcher that would usually be mounted onto an M16. As you can see right here, this is an M203 grenade launcher. Usually, there is a special sort of an installment that you can make onto a Picatinny rail or some other sort of a mod on an M16 or an M4 to be able to mount this thing. But it appears that they mounted this onto an AKM. That also suggests that they're generally improvising all of this, and there isn't really a general supplier, because if they had a general supplier and they were getting parts to fit, they would have gotten a GP25 grenade launcher, which can be fitted onto an actual AK. It's this one right here. These can be mounted onto AK-74s and similar types of firearms of the AK platform. So it does show that largely at the moment from the video that we're seeing, they are very obviously well equipped, but a lot of it does appear to be improvised arms and equipment. We can also see this person here with what appears to be some sort of a 338 Lapua, if I'm not mistaken, or something similar sized. It has a fairly large optagon.
Yeah, all I keep thinking is, oh, sure. Give them ideas on what stuff they should get, right?
Actually, that's a fairly bare bones sort of an AR platform right there. It does have a decent amount of ballistic gear on, however.
So yeah, tell them what they're doing wrong so they can go out and get the right stuff. Yeah.
That actually appears to be a 50 cal on top of that truck. We now see this guy appears to be some sort of.
By the way, that area called Jalisco, Jalisco, Jalisco. I just heard somebody on X refer to it as Jalisco, and it's like, no, come on.
Look at it going all the way down the dirt road, though. Like, it's
but these vehicles that you're looking at now,
full of these guys. Also, the side of the vehicle says Elite Forces or something, like below there.
These vehicles are just MacGyvered
Elite Forces or something. So
armored vehicles. I mean, I know they probably serve their purpose.
See here that they have a Jeep that they've also custom kitted to be armored. It doesn't appear that the tires on any of these vehicles are bulletproof, however. We can also see what appears to be a Hummer that they've armored up as well. This
yeah, I knew that was a Hummer. I saw a Jeep in there too.
But generally,
also everybody's saying this is an old video. It is an old video, but they're still using these vehicles though. Just because the vehicles are like a couple years old doesn't mean they trash them or something. So this is still their loadout.
And this is generally the sort of forces that we are seeing that the cartel is pushing forward into the field right now. So this is the reason why we're showing the video, is that while it is a couple of years old, which I did mention at the beginning of the clip, it is still showing the armament, equipment, and also vehicles that the cartel is likely and also definitely using at this point right now, as we've already seen similar vehicles and equipped soldiers on film conducting operations against the Mexican National Guard, the Mexican Army, and generally the cities of Mexico within the Jalisco state.
So let's go ahead and pause this video right here and show you something different, actually. I'm currently getting a new video coming out of Puerto Vallarta showing what appears to be more violence breaking out. It looks like at a gas station, perhaps. I'm not really sure what's going on here. If maybe they're trying to torch the station or they're trying to fight the security forces, but this is apparently happening in Puerto Vallarta. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is one of the tourist spots, right?
Yes, Puerto Vallarta is a tourist location.
Interesting. Yeah, so it's apparently happening right in the center of it.
So let's take a look at this clip. You see here the cartel, we would believe, or actually I'm not really sure, that's a white truck, so that might be the Mexican National Guard. Also, Matthew, have we vetted this clip to see if it's not graphic?
Let's see here. It looks like we're just simply seeing some vehicles pulling up and doing something. Maybe some gunfire going off. I'm not seeing anything graphic in the video, personally.
All right, and so we'll continue to show it. And we can see the members of this group moving around the vehicles. They are armed, and now we can see a firefight commencing. We can hear the firefight continuing on down the street. It appears to be off to the right side of the camera. We now see them once again relocating to the vehicles quickly, and it appears that they're hopping in and trying to get out of the area as quickly as possible. The firefight is continuing, however. It appears that the two vehicles have actually run into each other in the chaos, but now they're getting out of the area. Oh, that was the cartel, and they're running from the Mexican army that's in the armored car.
Oh, that's kind of surprising. Actually, I thought it'd be the other way around since this is their region. But apparently, the security forces got the jump on them that time.
Yeah, and it also appears they got the jump on them well enough that in the midst of the chaos, they got so panicked that the vehicles ended up actually ramming each other while they were trying to leave. So I'll actually watch this part over again right here. You actually see the truck run into what appears to be what is that, Matthew? A Jeep? It looks like a Jeep.
Yeah, that's a Wrangler.
Yeah, so we see that the truck actually ran into the Jeep because they're in so much fear of the armored car coming down on them and I guess ramming them and finishing them off with the roof-mounted machine gun. And then they start speeding out of the area as quickly as they can, and we can now see the Mexican Army's armored car coming up behind with the machine gunner aiming down the machine gun, chasing the cartel down the street, I suppose just firing bursts at them as they go.
I think the only reason it went this way, also by the way, is because the security forces happen to have the armored car. It didn't appear those two vehicles, the Jeep and what appeared to be maybe a Ford or like a Ranger or something, those didn't appear to be armored. So I think that's why they reacted like that.
I think that is definitely the case, and I think they also realized after they started to fire the vehicle that it didn't appear to be stopping, and it didn't appear that the engine block was taking any damage, say like visible smoke or anything like that, and then they might have realized it was an armored car. But you can hear that while the armored car is chasing them down, it's still laying down a couple of rounds onto those vehicles as it's chasing them through the streets. So, I mean, whether or not those guys made it out of there from the Mexican Army, well, I'll leave that up to y'all's imagination. But it does seem that at the moment they were quite scared of the Mexican Army's armored cars.
We've got a big deployment going on here. It looks like the Mexican forces have regrouped. I'm currently seeing a video coming out showing what appears to be another Black Hawk being deployed by the Mexican forces, armed with a minigun, and they are unleashing with the minigun right now over CJ and G positions near Ectero La Desembocada Road, which I'm mispronouncing like hell, but I gave it an attempt. But we're seeing this right now on the footage, which is crazy.
And really quickly, folks, we're actually now starting to hear that there's now an attempted siege of the city of Veracruz, which is a major port city just outside of the eastern regions of Mexico City along the east coast of the country, which we'll be getting to here in a moment. But where is that video that you were talking about there, Matthew, of the Black Hawk? Because I'm not seeing it.
Should be at the very top.
Ah, here we are.
There it is.
It hadn't shown up yet. So here's our clip of the Black Hawk. Oh! And it appears to be firing a minigun down on the cartel. I'm not going to lie, man. For everyone to be kind of doubting the Mexican government earlier on, I mean, the Mexicans are kind of whipping out the firepower on the cartel right now.
They are, but the problem is, though, as far as we're aware, I'm not sure exactly what they have, but I think the cartels have ways to take down the Black Hawk, which is, we saw the bullet holes in the last image. They had shot up a Black Hawk, the last one that came through here. This is apparently a new one coming through to start firing the minigun. So we don't know exactly what type of air defense the cartel is working with. I don't think they have anything too crazy, like, for example, like Venezuela would have or something like that, but they obviously have small arms, and they could have possibly, man-portable systems possibly,
but I would generally doubt it a little bit, considering that a lot of their prior weaponry in that video, even of their special forces, looked highly improvised. It's most likely that they probably don't have any shoulder-fired anti-air weaponry. We'll probably be finding out here soon. If they do have it, they will be firing it at the helicopters eventually, and one of them will go down, and that's when we'll find out. But I don't believe that they have any shoulder-fired weaponry, at least from what I would know. But once again, folks, the cartel does have a pretty significant global supply chain, and it is able to pull kind of anything from anywhere, so they might have been able to get their hands on a couple of man-pads, but we'll have to generally wait and see on that. But we're going to continue this clip of this Black Hawk here that's laying down a pretty decent amount of rounds downrange onto what we are guessing are cartel forces on the ground below. And we see the helicopter once again flying fairly quickly as the gunner, I believe, is lining up possibly another target. Doesn't appear that he is. He actually appears that they're flying on out of the area. But moving us on from that, we're now going to be moving from the west coast of Mexico, where most of the incidents have been going on, and we're now going to be moving on over and into the area of the east coast, just east of Mexico City. We have been able to hear that apparently there's now an attempted siege ongoing of the city of Veracruz, and we are able to see a little bit of those developments happening here in this clip. I don't know what the orange emoji thing is for down here, but we'll find out.
I'll only show part of this video, by the way.
Is it graphic?
No, I'm not sure about the source.
Oh, okay. So we can hear firing going on outside, And really quickly to speed forward through it, we can actually see the cartel out there in the street, it seems, trying to enforce some form of blockade on some of the streets leading into Veracruz, which once again is starting to generally show us that they are trying some form of a blockade against Veracruz as well, and maybe trying to close it off to general egress and outgress points in and out of the city, like we've seen similarly within Puerto Vallarta and also Guadalajara at the moment. So right now we can confirm that there are road blockades going on in larger parts of the country, even including as far north as Sinaloa near Mazatlan, which is in the southern part of the Sinaloa region. But we have not been able to confirm any larger developments or actions that have been happening close to the U.S. border or close to the border of Guatemala and Belize. We haven't seen any of that at the moment, but we are getting more breaking news coming out at this moment from central Mexico. And Matthew, what do we got?
Okay, so we cannot show this video on the air because it does appear to be filmed by possibly American tourists that are currently in Puerto Vallarta. But Puerto Vallarta, which is, of course, a tourist location, if I can pronounce that properly, is currently one of the heaviest hit areas by the cartel forces right now. And we are seeing many fires breaking out, and it appears to be American tourists are currently hiding on the tops of roofs inside of that area. Unfortunately, you can show an image of it. We cannot show the video, certainly not, because I'm sure there's some issues with that. But I reposted it just now. Just show a clip showing the American tourists currently hiding out on the roof.
And here they are.
Yeah, as you can see here, they're hiding out. And you see in the distance, there are fires and arsons taking place all over this area. It's kind of surprising, too, because the cartels usually don't mess with the tourist areas. So clearly, they are irate because they're currently messing with the area that typically is off limits for the cartel because that messes with the Mexican government. So we're currently seeing they're taking it to that level.
Also, Matthew, the town is Puerto Vallarta. So it's,
yeah, I'm gonna be butchering these names all day. I can't do the Spanish pronunciation very well, so the butchering is going to have to continue.
The butchering will continue, apparently, unfortunately. But beyond that, it does appear that we are seeing that there is still larger ashes that have been going on elsewhere within the area of the Jalisco state, which have happened prior, about an hour before we went on air, and we're going to be making sure to get you all into that as well. We have been able to see that down in the area of the city of Tizapan, which is just south of the Chapala Lake, we were able to see that there was a suspension of commercial activities within this area that was issued by the Mexican government. This is a Spanish to English translation of the post, and I'll be reading y'all off the English translation. Urgent statement, total suspension of commercial activities. To business owners, merchants, and the general public, in light of activation of Code Red, and with a priority objective of guaranteeing the safety of the population in the face of the violence recorded in the region, the relevant authorities urge the immediate closure of all non-essential businesses, shops, and services from this moment until further notice. This measure is preventative in nature, determined by the State Security Council to safeguard the well-being of employees and customers. Business owners are urged to suspend operations in an orderly manner and proceed to immediate home confinement. We reiterate the call to the entire population not to remain in public spaces and to stay indoors in a safe place. You will be informed in due course what conditions are suitable for reopening. Thank you for your cooperation. That was the statement from the local government of the city of Tizapan in Jalisco, where we have been able to hear that there is some significant cartel activities going on there as well. But moving us on into the largest city that generally finds itself afflicted with this situation at the moment, we are going to be moving on into Guadalajara. Guadalajara is a fairly large city within this more so central and western part of Mexico. It actually has a fairly significant population as well. I believe it's somewhere up around 500,000 people or more or so that live within the city of Guadalajara. A fairly significant one, to say the least. We have been able to see that within the city of Guadalajara,
that's a beautiful city,
there
by
has
the way.
been a
Guadalajara
National
is
Guard base on the outskirts that was directly attacked. You can actually see the National Guard vehicles of the Mexican National Guard.
Read this for a second. Finally, the State Department, the United States State Department website page popped up regarding travel to Mexico. It says travel advisory is currently at a level 2. Exercise increased caution is what it says. Also includes areas at levels 1, 3, and 4. Exercise increased caution in Mexico due to terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. Advisory summary: many violent crimes take place in Mexico. They include homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery. There is risk of terrorist violence, including terrorist attacks and other activity in Mexico. Let's see. The U.S. government has limited ability to help in many parts of Mexico. U.S. government employees are not allowed to travel to certain high-risk areas. Due to security risks, U.S. citizens should follow the same restrictions as U.S. government employees while traveling. Emergency services are limited or unavailable in remote or rural areas. If you encounter a road checkpoint, you should comply. Fleeing or ignoring instructions can lead to you being hurt or killed. And that's what they're saying right now. Let's see. And so many. Let me pop this up on the screen so we can all look at it together. All right, got that? Here, let me do this. But I find this interesting. So the area they're saying use increased caution is basically right under the letter M in Mexico, the yellow along the coast, and maybe some of the darker red next to that. Maybe it's like under the E, a little bit further down. And then you got all these other areas that are completely dark red, which mean do not travel. I don't know. Seeing all this stuff going on. Me personally, I tell people, you know what? Stay the hell out of Mexico. You got plans for tomorrow? You got a flight tomorrow morning? Cancel it. Change it. Do something else. Go somewhere else. Postpone until stuff settles down. And not that it looks like it's going to settle down any at all, not anytime soon anyway. Here's that advisory. If you do want to see it for yourself, here it is. What's the name of the blue kangaroo court? What's the name of the blue area? Let me see. Is there a blue area? Well, yeah, there is. Hang on. Yeah, that blue area is that's the Yucatan Peninsula. So you're looking at Merida, Campeche, Cozumel. Even Cozumel is more to on the west side of that. But Cancun is right at the tip of the yellow. Let me see. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Cancun is right about here. Again, I don't know if my mouse is visible or not. I'm thinking not. But where you see the blue just to the right of that on the tip, that's Cancun right there. And then if you go further down off of the yellow where it turns gray, now you're talking about Belize. That's Belize. And so obviously not Mexico. And then, but more to the west coast of that blue area, you're looking at Campeche. And further getting into the yellow is Veracruz. But I don't know, man. I would just say, you know what? Just don't go to Mexico. Sorry to say that, but I already told my sister because she goes across the border quite a bit for stuff. And today I said, you know what? You're not going right now. You're not going this week. We got to see what the heck is going on with the situation over there. And every time when I say that, don't go to Mexico unless you freaking absolutely have to. And you know what? You don't have to. You know, and inevitably, people always mess with me. You shouldn't say that. You should like, I can say it. You know, too bad. Tourists are not getting out. They're stuck. they are trapped. And in the case of Guadalajara, the airport's closed. They've been overrun by the cartel and causing damage to aircraft outside. It's just completely out of control. Completely out of control. Let me see if I can wrangle up some new footage over here. Let's see what this is now. Is this from earlier? Yeah, it's still from earlier.
The military appears to be ramping up. Let me get this up on the screen for y'all. Here that video is. See if I can get volume or if it even has volume. Oh, I'm turned down. Hold on.
I don't know, man. Maybe we should turn our attention from Iran to Mexico. Man. After all, they are our neighbor on our direct freaking border.
Who do we have on the line? Hello?
Is this the news station?
Not the news station, no.
What? ¿Qué?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
All right, what do you got for me? All right. High or shy called in 5 times and then just hung up. Very cool. What you're seeing on the screen is large-scale mobilization of the Mexican army in Jalisco. Not sure where else this extends beyond Jalisco at this point, but that's the imagery that you're seeing. Phone lines are open. I'm going to turn the volume up here and listen in. I don't think there's volume on this actual video, but I appreciate the mods getting this. It looks like they're rolling in pretty deep.
Just like that. And, you know, Mitchell, he's been under surveillance. He's been under investigation for quite many years now. So, you know, like I said, it's just surprising to see that instead of apprehending him, they wanted to kill him.
Well, we'll see where this goes. I appreciate you calling in and stating your opinion, and be safe out there, and hopefully check back in on another stream when we go live.
Yes, sir. You as well.
All right, take it easy. Phone line is open. I see other people trying to call in while I'm talking. If you want to get your opinion in, feel free to call in. We've been going for about 2 hours, probably going to stop so I can take a coffee break, get some food in my belly. And I don't see this ending anytime soon. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, this is Luke.
Hey, Luke.
I'm watching you on YouTube Live right now.
Awesome. What's your opinion of what's unfolding?
Listen, man, I've done a lot of research on this, and I have a few things I want to add. First of all, this is huge news. I made a comment about it. El Mencho going down. I mean, he was rumored to be killed back in 2018, I think. And
is that what the lady was referencing earlier?
I think so. He was rumored to be killed, and I mean, he's pretty much been a ghost. I mean, when El Mayo got set up by Chapo's sons and got flown across the border, and when he was arrested, obviously, you know what's happening in Sinaloa right now, the civil war down there. But the CGNG, they control the most area in the whole country of Mexico. You know, 10, 15 years ago, it was the Zetas controlled a lot of territory, and then the Sinaloa cartel pretty much held it down. And, you know, the Sinaloa cartel controls a vast amount of area down there. But when the CGNG became an actual force around 2012, they were first known as the Zeta Killers. And El Mencho was running things back then, but for the past, I would say, 10 years, Cartel Jalisco has been probably the biggest cartel down there.
I see some comments in the chat about Nicolas Maduro being captured and potentially singing. What they're saying is he talking? Does Venezuela and Mexico have a good relationship like that, where cartel would be talking to Venezuelan leaders?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they have. For a long time, Mexico has gotten their drugs from Colombia, and I mean, you know, they've hired Kabylis, which are like the special forces in one of those countries, El Salvador or something, and they would come up here and train a lot of cartel members. You know, the Zetas were known for that. But as far as Maduro ratting anybody out, I don't think that has anything to do with this. The corruption is so rampant in Mexico. I mean, as far all the way to the higher ups, in charge of the military and stuff. Garcia Harfu, who is Mexico, he got promoted. He was in Mexico City. Now he's like the Attorney General, okay, for Mexico. And he'll probably come on the air in a couple hours and give a statement and read about this. Well, in 2018, 2019, when he was the head prosecutor in Mexico City, he was ambushed. El Mencho put a hit out on him, and he was ambushed, and 2 of his bodyguards got killed in Mexico City. And the CGNG made a video and said that he was corrupt and he was working with other cartels to try to, push CGNG out. And, because they're all corrupt down there. I mean, people think that with taking out El Mencho or taking out El Chapo or all these big names, that it puts a dent in it. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Not only is there people to take their place, but the Mexican economy relies on them. You know what I mean? They rely on the drug trade. So, I mean, the U.S. obviously was involved. Trump's been pushing it. A lot of people have been extradited. And, so U.S. definitely was involved in this capture, and it's huge. I mean, not captured. He was killed, obviously. But, I mean, this is huge news. I don't want to take up any more time, but, yeah, I just want a lot of people. I've done a lot of research on mainly on the Gulf Cartel and the Zetas. I've done a lot of reports and stuff through college. And, I just wanted to get my 2 cents, man. I mean, this is huge news. And I enjoy watching you, and thank you for answering my call.
I appreciate you calling in. Do you, last question before you go, and I appreciate you sharing your opinion and your 2 cents. Do you have anyone you care or love in Mexico, or no?
No. I have no family. I'm in Ohio. I have no family down there, but it's always the organized crime elements always interest me. Like I said, CGNG started out as the Zeta killers. I mean, El Mencho worked for the Sinaloa cartel a long time ago. And then when the Millennial cartel split up, they were mainly in charge of Michoacan and down there in Jalisco. And they were a driving force in the early 2000s. When the Millennial cartel split up, when their leader got arrested, El Mencho and another guy, the Millennial cartel split. And El Mencho, in the end, around 2010, became the de facto leader of, the remnants of that cartel. And at first it was they were known as the Zeta killers, El Mata Zetas. So they specialized in hunting down and killing the Zetas. And he got so much support and so much money and so many soldiers that he formed his own cartel. Around 2013, they started being known as the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generation Cartel. And since then, their power has. He's by far. This is huge news. I can't say it enough. This is a very big thing going on. And Puerto Vallarta is on fire right now.
I think it is a significant event for sure.
Keep your eye on it because I think some major things
I
are
don't
going to
think
be
it's
happening in
a.
the next day or two. So
appreciate
I don't
your
know. I
opinion.
think
You sound like you've done some
the
studying
cartel
on the
itself could have
topic.
handled this
Please don't
differently if they wanted to. continue in their power. I think by going this route and causing all this chaos, it's going to pique the interest of other countries, mainly the United States.
This could become the meme.
And that's something that they don't want.
Meme with the fire burning behind it.
They do not
the girl in the swing
want that at all.
This guy looking at this truck burning up.
So yeah, somebody was it in the comments. Somebody was asking, what do they hope to achieve by doing this? And it's like, all they want to achieve is
appreciate everyone
to scare people,
mods making sure that this is a safe space.
to exercise their dominance.
Opinions are always welcome, but please keep it respectful. It doesn't mean you guys.
They just want to exercise their dominance and have people, basically be submissive to the cartel.
Hi, how are you?
And at this point, not hearing a word from President Scheinbaum, at least I don't think. I want to take a look. But not hearing a word from President Scheinbaum of Mexico says a lot too.
We all know this. So with that being said, have a great day.
You as well, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
Let's hear a little more of this.
Shut down the phone lines for now. I appreciate everyone calling in and voicing your opinion. I don't know about El Chapo or El Muncho, but I got the El Munchies, as someone said in the chat earlier. So we're going to take a
Yeah, I'm going to take I think I'll take the chance and take a break, see what's going to happen, see what changes, or if we get word from President Scheinbaum, which haven't heard from her right now yet, and it's disappointing. But let's see what happens. A little bit. I know some of this footage just keeps getting cycled over and over and over and over, and we've seen it all already. So I'm going to wait a little bit, and I'll come back a little.